Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the Everton News Daily. Sean Dyche has held his press conference ahead of Sunday's game against Nottingham Forest. What a huge game it is as well. He has spoken to the press today. First on the agenda was the situation with the injuries.
Yeah, both trained. We were light today, but both trained light and came through it. So we hope there's no reaction to that. Patterson he'll be out for the season. He will need surgery. Very unfortunate injury. We're disappointed in that one for him as much as us as well. And Shea, we're waiting on, but hopefully he'll calm down quickly. But touch and go at best for this weekend.
What about Adrisagana?
Yeah, he should be okay. His calf settled. He trained today. Similar, low-level training today, but he trained and he was okay.
How hopeful are you that Jared will be okay to take his place in the heart of your defence?
Yeah, as I said, he's come through today, but it was a light session. There'll be a bit more on it tomorrow. So hopefully there's no reaction today and therefore he can move forward tomorrow.
Obviously, it's a huge blow that Nathan Patterson will be missing the rest of the season. Obviously, for the lad, it's a huge blow and the possibility of him missing the Euros as well. It looks he's going to have an operation, and it will be very, very close whether he does play in the Euros. In my opinion, this is a player that's been completely mismanaged by Everton Football Club since we bought him from Rangers. And it's really, really sad to see, his one little ray of light for the end of the season playing in the Euros for his country could be taken away from him. The player is, just as I said, been completely mismanaged. And here we are. Under maybe at a different circumstance, the lad would have got games, would have developed, would have been brought into the team at the right time, but it just hasn't been that way under Frank Lampard or Sean Dyche. It's been a really, really poor set of circumstances, and here we are now. So really sad news for him. Obviously on the other injury news, good news about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Jared Branthwaite and Adrisagana Gay hopefully being available for the game, and the outside possibility Seamus Coleman is as well. So just good to have Dom back in it, and it's good that Branthwaite looks like he's okay after a little scare on Monday night against Chelsea. So on the game as well, Sean Dyche was asked whether it was a must-win game.
I think everyone uses that. I mean, since I've been at Everton Football Club, I've tried to make it clear every game should be a must-win. It should be at every football club, but I think, the stature and the grandeur of the club, I think every game must be a must-win. That's what I want the players' mentality to be. Endlessly spoken since I've been here about finding consistency. We've had spells and we have. We've had spells and we haven't, and that we certainly haven't over the last run. But equally, making sense of that and using the things we learn and using that to move forward. So the next one's a big one, but they should all be big games when you're wearing Everton shirt.
Sure.
I mean, for me, it's 100% a must-win game. Everton just can't afford. Well, they certainly can't afford to lose it. But obviously with Luton playing on Saturday afternoon, Everton know and Forest will know where they are going into this game. But if Everton want to stay up this season, it's hugely important that we beat our rivals. And obviously Forest, Luton coming up, Brentford and Sheffield United, they're 4 games that really are huge and give Everton a fantastic opportunity to stay in the Premier League, and it's there to be taken. So must-win game for me. Also on the agenda, I think it's probably on the agenda for all Premier League managers today, Sean Dyche was asked about the changes to the FA Cup.
The debate on how much football is getting played by individuals. Are we asking too much of them as players and all the rest of it? So there's a bigger picture debate, I think, particularly the teams that are super successful every season, playing in all sorts of different trophies. For the beauty of the cup, I suppose it changes, obviously. The glamour of it and the kind of prestige of it changes. But I don't know, they're cramming so much into football now, and certainly in the Premier League season. And as I said, particularly the teams that are doing well in all sorts of different competitions. I don't think it's an easy situation because there are a lot of games. And as I said, the higher up you go, the more trophies you're in. It does get a lot of games. Players are playing 55, 65 games a season. And it does get challenging, I think, for them. And that's not including internationals, don't forget, as well.
Yeah, there you go. I think there's a lot of emotion in the air at the moment about the FA Cup and the changes to it, and the simple fact that no one outside the Premier League really got asked about it. And again, it feels like just a few elite clubs asserting their power and influence on everybody else. And it really is a sad state of affairs. If they can literally change the how a competition is ran, then what else will they able to change going forward? So really poor situation. In other news today, it's emerged that 777 are prepared to sell one, if not two, of their other clubs to loosen up a little money for the purchase of Everton. Standard Liège and Paris have been mentioned, that two teams that could be sold, and maybe take some investment into Hertha Berlin as well. Hertha Berlin, who have made a profit this season, which is a good news story for 777. They could be looking for some investment in then. So they're trying to free up a little bit of cash to get Everton to buy Everton sorted. So, which just, I mean, why didn't he come up with these ideas back in September when they really did matter? It seems very late in the day, but it looks like they are prepared to do that. There is news also on Everton's appeal from the 2 points that we have gained recently. The appeal is going to be announced. The result of that will be announced apparently before the Arsenal game, before the last game of the season. There's obviously been a lot of fear that Everton and Nottingham Forest appeals would not be heard till after the last weekend of the season. Well, Paul Joyce is reporting tonight that they will fast track it. Of course they'll fast track it. How embarrassing would it be for the Premier League if those judgments come out after the last game of the season and people don't know what the situation is? I mean, it once again proves anything can be done if there's the will and there's the pressure. Anything can be done, and it's just, the whole thing is just a farce. Nottingham Forest apparently have got their appeal next week. It's only going to be a 1-day appeal, and they'll know if they've gained back any points. And we'll have to see. There's a little bit of confidence that Everton could get at least a point back with the appeal, and who knows how huge that would be. But I think all of us would want that to be done before the last game of the season, so we all know where we are. Also, the minutes of the last Everton Shareholders Association meeting have been revealed. Colin Chong revealed that the board, who obviously left in the summer, basically decided what their compensation would be, which is just seems ridiculous from the outside. It seems like people are patting themselves on the back for a job well done, when really, I mean, in my opinion, they should have just been sacked. They should have been frog marched down Goodison Road, in my opinion. But the fact that they've been compensated so well, and also within the same financial year as well, so it affected the club's PSR. And again, it's the culture of Everton, isn't it? Once again, striking that culture of everyone patting each other on the back and deciding what they are worth, even out the door, when they should have been had their terminated, should have been sacked, should have been kicked out, as far as I'm concerned, after what they did to this football club. But that's the way Everton have been run for the last 30 years, so which is just absolute scandalous as well. The minutes also revealed that Everton would be open to outside investment into the stadium, but obviously would retain a majority stake. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. That doesn't mean they're seeking it. It just means that they would be open to it. And this is something John Blaine spoke about a lot of the time on the channel, about the possibility, if there's no of Everton selling 49% of the stadium, possibly to fans. Obviously, fans own shares in the club, so why not fans own shares in the stadium? And I'm sure if Evertonians could get involved, they would get involved, because this is Everton's future, and to hold a stake in the future would be huge. So that's something we could see going forward. It could be owned by other people, by obviously could be owned by people who have got some kind of stake in the stadium. If the stadium obviously is going to be involved in having other events, then Everton might see someone from that world coming in. But it's certainly not a definite thing. It's certainly something that is not definitely going to happen. It just could happen. And listen, West Ham, Man City, they don't own their stadiums and they still benefit massively from it. So there's no reason why Everton do need to own the stadium. Of course, we all want Everton to own its stadium, the majority of its stadium, because we've seen stories certainly in places like Derby County where clubs don't own the stadium and it's used as a weapon against them almost. And so the one thing we want at the moment is, with all this money and debt that's gone into it, is that Everton have owned the stadium and certainly the majority of it. So yeah, those minutes are available if you seek them out at the Everton Shareholders Association Twitter account. So there you go. Obviously, it's a big game on Sunday. Me and John have done the match preview, so if you want to check that out, that is available right now. Go and check it out. Thanks for watching. See you later.